Welcome to the Salt Circle podcast. My name is Hank. With me, he is Vengeance. He is the Knight. It's Ben.
Is this a salt circle?
Yeah. It's gonna be a regular Salt Circle.
Lame. Coward. Could have been the Justice Salt. Salt of something. I don't know. Where we
didn't give a special show name to when we did Dragon Balls, so
I guess. I guess I was just thinking because it's more like not super tied into Salt Labyrinth, but like
yeah,
important to that.
Whatever. Well, these episodes just aren't going to go up until those Salt Labyrinths are all out. So this might not be like numbered in the next one that goes out or whatever.
Yeah.
This may have been recorded a while ago when you're hearing this.
Yeah, who fucking knows? We've gotten so much recording done.
Yeah.
Who would have thought if there's one superhero that I found even more boring than Superman, it was Batman. And now here I am. We watched Batman the Animated Series. We watched the first 14 episodes of Batman the Animated Series from 1992.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Shit's fucking good.
I was 5 when I watched these episodes. I loved it.
I was probably not an idea yet.
Me having a great time as a 5-year-old. That guy turned into a bat.
Yeah. Yeah, he turned into a bat. There was a lot.
Joker rode that Christmas tree.
I should have fucking... Batman animated. I want to open the Wikipedia so I remember what episode. Like, I remember all the episodes, but it's just like jumbled together.
Yeah. And some of them are way better than others.
I mean, I had fun with all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm coming in real
I just think objectively some of them are definitely better.
Is it just me or did the Mr. Freeze one, Heart of Ice, did they dump more budget into that? Seems
like it was dump more budget. The animation studio went fucking hard for as far as I can tell looking back at it, nobody knows why they went so hard, but they did.
Yeah, dude.
That studio just is made up of it's called Spectrum, I think. It's made up of former TMS employees, which is like the studio that animated the Akira movie. And the movie they made after Akira was an adaptation of the newspaper comic Little Nemo in Slumberland, and that bombed super hard. So then they had to that studio just had to take on a lot of work, doing like regular for hire work, such as Batman the Animated Series or other stuff.
Slapped.
Like Mr. Freeze's helmet, like that frosting effect on it. They airbrushed every fucking frame of his helmet to make it look like that, which is crazy. Like, that studio did not last super long. But the people who work there now work at like IG, which is like the studio that did the 13th Jedi short for Visions.
Oh.
I think that's like how that lineage works. But also, just in general, I'll also say like the floor for Batman the Animated Series is that spending more money on a kid's show than normal, for sure. That episode is just like you hit this next tier where you also just have these anime studios that are just delivering way higher quality work than they need to for hire work for a kid's show.
I mean,
there's like multiple things going on there.
I mean, it's definitely like, it's not what I expected, I guess.
Sure. Well, and just a little more extra, like because the thing that happened was Steven Spielberg just got it. I think got it in his head that like it would be worth spending more money on kids' cartoons, which resulted in the cartoon Tiny Toons, which is just like kid versions of the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
So like, and like that show has like, it's not quite it has a high level animation as actual old Looney Tunes shorts. Like it's like 1.5 instead of 2 or whatever for how many frames they're making. Like they don't have full smear frames, I think, but it's like more. And then they're also paying for like full orchestra, like actual orchestras to do the soundtrack and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like the team that was working on that was just like desperate to work on something a little more serious, and so they like pitched this Batman show and eventually got it made. And like I think the thing they like the proof of concept they made is literally like the opening.
I mean, that would fucking sell me.
Uh-huh. And there's like one like Batman-ish episode. There's like one Batman episode of Tiny Toons that's also kind of their like secret pilot of trying to pitch stuff.
Yeah.
Pitch this show to get it made like off the back of the Burton movies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and then it happened, and the show rules.
It's fucking good. It is funny, like, despite not watching this, it's still kind of like when I think of the Joker, like this is still kind of what I think of. I mean, even just like Batman, Alfred, like it's very ingrained into me. Like it was just I saw enough shit of it. Or like I said with the theme, I'm like, I don't remember ever watching this show, but I somehow knew every beat of that intro. Like the pose at the end, I'm like, oh, I saw that like however many times and flicking through shit when I was little, and it just burned in.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, like the show, this is Batman. This is the platonic ideal of Batman. Every other version of Batman is like falling short of the light of this version. It's like, how close can you get to it? Which is like that's not entirely true, but that's definitely how I felt as a kid.
So far,
like it's part of like I struggled getting into Batman comics because I'm like, but that's not as good as this show I've watched.
I mean,
it doesn't hit as hard.
I understand it now. I mean, even I understood it as a concept because, like I've said, I liked Dark Knight and Batman Begins and stuff at the time, but
I
was never like balls deep on it. And even like by the time the third one came out, I like barely cared anymore.
I mean, Tom Hardy's Bane accent is hilarious.
I mean, yeah, that shit's
it's not
10
like
out of 10.
Good, but it is incredibly entertaining.
I mean, yeah, I like a lot of the stuff that came. Like we got what is it? Is it the College Humor sketches? It's like Batman in his fucking suit, just horny as shit.
Yeah.
You know, some good shit came out of it, but like that super edgy thing. I mean, that's been a trending theme, especially for anyone listening. Like, I'm going the opposite direction with my life. So, and with that as my only real basis, like I knew that it wasn't always that edgy. I knew there was like the hammier stuff, the cornier stuff, but I definitely see now even just in these 14 episodes, like you mentioned, Batman being more of like a noir thing. Like he's not a fucking edgy martial arts expert. He like surveying the city or whatever. Like he's more of a detective. And he's also kind of like I guess in here he's a millionaire. He's rich, but he's also he kind of comes off as some guy also. Like
there's also like just because the animation's good enough to like give him physicality. Yeah. In terms of like looking like a human being walking around and getting his ass kicked sometimes.
Yeah, dude, like he's not always like on top of shit.
Yeah.
That's great. I think the thing that with the detective angle that stood out to me is, and I think this is coming from like Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff, which is that's my standard, I suppose, at this point, possibly for lack of other reference, but
sure.
You know, I've seen a lot of bad detective shit. Like I've seen enough mid-grade to bad cop shows that like I don't whatever. But like how they go about it here, it's light enough, it's not in depth enough, or it's not so in depth that it like gets up its own asshole or whatever. But also he's doing cool stuff, like he's wearing disguises and shit. I was not expecting that. I don't know that I've encountered disguise Batman. I love that.
Yeah. They do such a good job of like hitting all the angles in that first episode, like on Leather Wings. In terms of like, we have this fucking bat monster, we've got Batman doing detective stuff. Like I don't know, like that episode's such a good like proof of concept in terms of just like, this is just really good. It's just really well done.
Followed up by Joker riding a Christmas tree.
Fucking yeah. Followed by fucking nonsense.
Yeah, man.
Like that episode feels way more like, okay, we are building on like Adam West era. Like Batman and Robin are here, and stuff is much sillier. Because that's our only episode with Robin in this set.
I was
right?
about to ask. I'm like, I feel like I'm crazy that there was no like, was there more Robin? I don't think so.
No,
unless he like made a brief. I just remember.
I feel like that episode must have just been closer to the end of like made later in the production order or something, but got aired first. Because basically they made those first 65, or I think, and then they started airing them.
Well, I was gonna ask, like,
that's just how animation worked back then. At that time.
Like based on that episode, I was gonna ask, like, does Robin just sort of fucking appear whenever, or do we lead into him and this was just out of order? Like,
he definitely has like he definitely has a 2-part origin story episode.
Okay.
But I don't remember if like we just get other episodes with him just being there sometimes before that even.
Yeah.
Because again, watching this as it aired, like he was just in the second episode they put out. So he's just there.
Yeah.
And because like this is before he's showed up. Like it's so just like pulling on Adam West Batman, because like he hadn't even been in one of the newer movies. Like the movies where Robin's in them had not come out yet.
Gotcha.
Like Batman Forever.
Yeah. The villains were all fucking great for the most part. The only one that didn't hit as hard was Poison Ivy. That's just like for her episode that we got. Two-Face is fucking great.
Yeah, the thing the show is really good at is finding pathos for the villains, and like they do not find pathos for Poison Ivy. They do not find any pathos for the Penguin either. But that episode's such a joke.
See,
anyway,
Poison Ivy, I think I was coming in a little bit elevated because I like her to begin with, but also,
yeah,
like she just won me over in like Harley Quinn and other stuff that we've done. Like she's just good, even just as a villain. But here, like it was kind of basic.
Yeah, it's very silly.
Her fucking trying to shoot Batman, and he like flips and she shoots her own plant. She like freaks out.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I just love like Batman he's like holding onto the ledge, and she's about to like kick him off, and he's like holds up the potted plant.
The fucking plant, yeah, the rose.
And she just completely melts.
Yeah. The winner is Harvey Dent, obviously. But that's because we got that 2-parter. It's hard to
we had a 2-parter.
That shit was great, and I like that we got him. We got bits of him and Batman, Bruce Wayne being friends before this. Like they weren't just pulling it out of their ass for this episode. Like they demonstrated it to us. That was great.
Yeah, they seeded it a little. Given how early it is, it's kind of amazing they found any room to seed it. Because it's still like
fucking
getting at episode 10.
Also, just the fucking classic, like when they're getting dinner with Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy, and she walks away for a little bit, and Harvey's like, "So what do you think?" or whatever. Bruce is like, "Does she have a sister?" I'm just like, oh my god. Like it walks that perfect line where it's not like a kiddie show, but it's also not, it's not going into like dumb adult shit. Like it's just in a very nice spot. Also, it's dark, literally.
Yeah.
That fucking black paper.
Animated on black paper.
Which is especially funny because, like, most of the time when I'm watching it is sunny as hell out. You're fucking harshing the vibe. And a huge, you mentioned the orchestra thing, and I was thinking of that. Like, this soundtrack is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it is literally a perfect soundtrack. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, they got fucking character themes and shit. Like,
yeah, dude,
it works. They've spent the money on it.
But there's just enough animated wonk that it delights me. Like that kid I took a screenshot of who's just clearly a fucking adult or destined to become a henchman. Which I love, it's endearing to me.
And it's a thing that's like incredibly specific to this show, because I don't think there's like any show that really looks like this show in terms of like its quality. And then like when they do the style, because then they do the style change, and then all those shows look way more similar, because they basically change the style so that the animation will be on model more often, like because like the low points are the things that like the people making the show like stick out to them and like annoys them or whatever. So like you don't have as much, you get way less wonk, but you also don't get the high points that this stuff delivers sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is also like it's ridiculous the animators go that hard a lot of the time too, though. So God, there's so many little flourishes of just like Batman like moving his cape around or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
It just looks so fucking good.
There's so many little things. Yeah. No,
and just like the logic of the show, like there's like that one scene like Batman's like in a disguise walking through a door, and then like we cut to Batman walking through the door. We just know just like through the cut he is transformed into his full costume, like because it's just cooler that way.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
And just how him being like a fucking person who gives a shit is much better, because in the coming from the Christopher Nolan trilogy, like it's been a hot minute. I haven't rewatched them in a long fucking time, but I remember it very coldly, like he was more removed. Like he wants to help the city, but like also he's only doing it this one way. Like at least in here, like we get him like he's volunteering a little bit or whatever, right? We get the dream sequence of him in that same episode when he's like he has the bit of amnesia, and it's
we get like a few like shot like dream things with his, like we have the Scarecrow one, and of like him like thinking about the death of his parents, and they're all amazing,
dude. They're so fucking like the fact that they're weaving that in there. I'm like, I expected this to be way more like villain of the week does a thing and it gets solved like purely, and it's still kind of that. But the fact that they're bringing in like that, like we're not just talking about his origin, we're gonna like show his trauma, like we're showing his origin through that lens.
He's like clinging to the front of a dirigible, saying, "I'm not a failure. I am the knight. I'm Batman."
Like when he was trying to remember his identity, and he has the dream, and there's like I guess it's supposed to be like a bum or a homeless person or whatever, and he gives them some money, and then someone else comes up and he gives them money, and eventually he's being like overwhelmed by all these hands, and he like starts crying, like holy shit.
Yeah,
like that's so good. And him just like giving a fuck about the, like he's not an, it's like my same beef with like Sherlock Holmes, like, oh, we're gonna turn him into an asocial prick because he thinks he's better than everyone, and like he's not though. Like he's in the books he's a pleasant dude. He gets along with people. He has social grace. He knows how to act.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Batman.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be a dick. Like he's a good person, I feel like, or is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Originally.
And in like the Heart of Ice episode, the real bad guy is not Victor Freeze.
Dude, yeah,
it's fucking Ferris Boyle.
Dude.
The corporate CEO.
Him watching that fucking tape of Victor Freeze and his wife basically like dying. And he's like, my God. And he fucking talks about I forget the CEO's name.
Ferris Boyle.
Right.
Played by Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Him being like, he ruined 2 lives. Like, fuck. That shit is so good.
Yeah, also, every line Mr. Freeze speaks in that episode is fucking gold.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that. I'm like, man, these other villains are really great, but like his delivery is fucking incredible.
It's just next level. And it's wild, because that character is nothing before that episode. Like, that is not a villain that matters or has anything to him other than cold powers or whatever.
That's fucking wild.
He fucking looks incredible. That design, I think, was done by Mike Mignola, who created Hellboy. Like, just those red eyes opening up. The voice performance is so fucking good. And, like, he has, like, just a few lines, and they're all fucking fire. Like, him crying at the end. Like, him being, like, just cold. Like, all emotion is dead in me. And at the end, he's, like, so distraught that he couldn't fucking murder Ferris Boyle. He's just dying.
Yeah. God, and he has like a bit of a monologue too, right? In that episode, I think
he has I
think
has
it was
think of it, Batman.
I think it was him. I was thinking. I didn't take any actual notes.
Any notes? Yeah.
But I think it was his. He had a bit of a speech or something that I was like, "This is fucking like." Just from a writing perspective, like it's just fucking incredible. Like it was just super great. I think it was his.
Yeah.
I think it was his. I don't know who else it would have been.
Because he's like, Batman's like, even if you just kill everyone in the building to do it, he's like, think of it, Batman, to never again walk in a hot summer day with the wind in your face and a warm hand to hold.
Yeah.
Oh
dude.
yes, I'd kill for that.
Yeah. That
on this fucking kid show. Like, what?
Amazing.
That shit's so fucking hard.
Dude, and I mean, I thought like it felt like the animation.
And then he gets taken up. He gets taken out by getting fucking hit with chicken soup in the face.
Yeah,
the only way to fight a cold.
Yeah. The part of I thought the animation was going a little harder, and the part where I was like, this feels like a level above was when he shot his ray gun, and maybe it's the big one. I don't know. We had like a giant fucking hella cool beam. Like the beam was so good. I lost my mind.
I love when he kicks off the fire hydrant and just sticks his gun in it to get into the building.
Dude, him riding when he rides up the ice or whatever.
Yeah.
As he's freezing it. That shit was so fucking good. That was cool as hell. That's what they say about Mr. Freeze, though. He's a pretty cool guy. Man.
And like just the perfection of snow. So elegant.
Yeah.
And Batman's just like, and cold.
Pure ice. Yeah. No, his that shit was fucking.
That's such a like that. I mean, that's the episode that won a fucking Emmy.
That makes sense. That makes fucking sense.
That's the our first Paul Dini written episode. Also,
Nice.
I think. I guess he
Yes.
co-wrote the Poison Ivy episode too. He co-wrote the story, and then the script was someone else on that one. It looks like this
Gotcha.
one.
Yeah,
he just
I see.
wrote the whole thing himself.
I think
And like they know they fucking nailed it. Like they kind of try to save Mr. Freeze for like if they have a good idea or whatever.
yeah,
Like, they don't overdo it with him the way they completely overdo it with the Joker. Just like
I mean, that makes sense.
Joker episodes left and right.
I think the biggest. I mean, I didn't come in like knowing anything about Mr. Freeze or whatever. I knew he existed, but like because of memes and just screenshots and other shit, like I've always viewed him as a sympathetic character, because like that's what people are screenshotting, right?
Yeah.
So like I had that kind of coming in a little bit. Seeing it in action is obviously fucking incredible, but yeah, and I mean Joker pretty pretty expected, like
Yeah.
But Harvey Dent, Two-Face was fucking wild, because I forget exactly how it goes in the trilogy in the Nolan films, but it didn't. I don't remember it being like that. Like it didn't seem nearly as sympathetic or a thing that like was innate that I could recall. I remember him getting like burned and shit, and then he just goes insane. I don't remember any lead up. Though there might have been.
Well, it's because like his fiance dies. That's like what drives him crazy in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Is Joker sets up the thing of saving him or saving her, and Batman like goes to save her, but Joker told him the opposite locations, so he ends up saving Harvey instead.
Yeah,
and then Harvey.
See, like that doesn't.
Off
that doesn't seem like enough from a Zero standpoint. Obviously, if somebody has issues to begin with, and those are building up, like that would make sense. But like that alone, it just felt shakier. We had so much build up here.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This is like he's already fucking crazy before anything happens to him.
But even seeing
he's already been like the Two-Face personality exists because he's been repressing this side of himself for like his entire life.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's because they we got to watch him a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, it's been maybe we get to see him a little bit more in those films. I know we get to see him, but like his friendship with Batman, him and his fiance, and then the whole thing, like it was very good. Also, the fact that
it's well done.
Batman stops him by like hiding his coin.
Uh-huh. He only believes in the power of the coin, so don't give him the fucking coin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was
like that's the thing. Like, yeah, that's why these people go to Arkham Asylum, not like a prison.
Yeah.
They are like these Batman rogues are like actually people who are
fucked.
Yeah.
Mostly.
They need help.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's pretty good.
Well, opposed to like Rupert Thorne, who is just a gangster.
Yeah.
Or really, like the Penguin in this is just a gangster too.
Yeah,
but.
I think I saw that like Penguin is one of the only villains that doesn't get an origin story. Like he's just there.
Yeah, because they're just riding off the coattails of like we don't get an origin story for the Joker either, because they were both in the movies, right?
The live action.
Yeah, the Tim Burton ones.
Oh, so it's
Joker's
coming. So it's actually related. Like they're just using that as the.
Yeah, like that's why this version of Penguin has like his like webbed fingers.
I was wondering about
like
that.
His character design is more like they're also pulling forward like older Penguin stuff, like from the Adam West show with the monocle and like the suit. And eventually when they redo the character designs, they make him like way more like the Adam West show, and they like ditch all the stuff that's from the Tim Burton movie. But here, that character design is like building off, is the way it is because of the way the Penguin was in Batman Returns.
I mean, should I watch those movies just to be if I want to be informed a little?
No, because they're not doing anything with that plot stuff. It's just that look is definitely coming from there.
Well, what about Joker?
I mean,
does he get
no?
Does he get an origin or anything, or is it still just
in the movie? Yeah, in the movie he has an origin, but I don't like it, and I don't think it's true to this version either.
Gotcha. What, out of curiosity,
because in the Tim Burton movie, Joker, before he like becomes the Joker, is the one who kills Batman's parents. They make him like, they conflate Joe Chill, who's the character, like the canonical in comics character, that when they gave a name to the person that shot Bruce Wayne's parents, but they make that the Joker is the one who does that in that movie, which I don't like.
Yeah, that's
like making great. The story. That's conflating stuff in a way that makes stuff less interesting to me.
Yeah, no, that makes it
smaller. So, yeah, and then he falls in like a vat of chemicals. That's kind of it.
Yeah, yeah,
and he's Jack Nicholson, so he already looks crazy. But Jack Nicholson is great in that movie. Like he's very entertaining. But
dude, you know which dude was like not like Joker crazy, but the fucking Underdweller episode, like that Sewer King dude.
Yeah,
fucking guy.
Batman is like the most evil villain I've ever fought in that episode, too.
I mean, yeah, dude, Batman all like telling him, what did he say? He's like, something take you to the court for justice or to decide your fate or whatever the fuck, but I'm tempted to do it myself.
I'm tempted to do it myself, yeah. He doesn't say that shit to the Joker.
Yeah, no, dude. Well, that's because the Joker, like, this guy's just a dick.
I'm going to share you the screenshots I did take. Like, this is just where my head is at with, like, what I find hilarious.
You okay, Batman?
There's that. You okay, Batman?
Heavy barbecue action.
It's like with his fucking... and then the fucking kids... mom in that Penguin episode.
Yeah, dude, that shit. I was losing my mind. You're not trying to make gunpowder again. I literally laughed. I was not expecting it. Oh. He wouldn't be single.
Trying to set Batman up with his mom. That is such a like
that fucking episode, dude. That was I thought I was going to like that episode less than I did. But
sure.
It towed the line. It was good.
Yeah. The thing is, no matter how like silly the stuff around it, like Batman is always Batman.
Well, it's just also, like 90% of the time we just came hot off of Visions with all those damn kids.
Yeah. True.
But then they were driving the Batmobile. I'm like, this is pretty fucking good. It's like, oh, this is a restricted area. We shouldn't go in here. He's like, I'm going in. She's like, boys are dumb. I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Boys do be dumb.
Look, it's like, it's important not to take off Batman's mask. Like, they know the deal.
And then like I thought also the bullies were like that. I just don't care about that trope. I've seen it too many times. Yeah.
But they like get on board pretty quickly.
Yeah, they weren't. I thought they were going to be more of an antagonist, but
no. We've got enough of it. We got the Penguin and his fucking big vultures.
Yeah.
It's enough. Try to steal that egg.
Yeah. And then at the end, like the bullies are following him. The kid, Sherman.
Yeah.
That shit's good. And Batman standing outside.
Yeah. That's another thing I really love about this version. It's like he's involved in his, like he follows up with people. Like even if they don't always show it, they do it enough to like imply, like to understand that he's like helping people and like checking in or whatever, getting people jobs.
I did have a question. It's probably a tired question maybe for you. And I think ultimately the answer is it doesn't really matter / don't think about it because you'll ruin it for yourself or whatever. How do you reconcile like Batman, Bruce Wayne being a rich bitch and this is how he's going about stuff? I know I've brought it up with Superman a little bit. I feel like that's different because Superman is basically a fucking god, and that's on a different level, right? Bruce is kind of dealing like he's in a more normal position, despite being fucking rich as hell. Like that's what I would call a normal position of like doing things.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
well, I would say like I mean it's also like the world he lives in is this like super like hyper crime world where like there are endless numbers of gangsters, so it's kind of different. And like the implication is like you see enough, I think they do enough stuff with like he tried to go through other methods, like the scene with all of his dream of like him trying to hand out money and people like taking it all from him or whatever. Like, like he's doing this because like normal methods didn't work. And like that in the Poison Ivy thing, like of him like funding that prison, like to me, that's like early Bruce Wayne thinking he like can change things through the system. And then like the show becoming so hard and like, this is pretty fucked up in terms of how it frames it is like, that didn't work. Like giving money to the city for the crime stuff was not the solution.
I suppose that's a good point.
But ultimately, the big thing for me is Batman is a character for little babies.
Well, yeah, of course.
In terms of like the depth to it, so you can only pull on those strands so hard before they completely collapse.
Yeah, I think
like you can massage it. Ultimately, though, you just can't. It's not structurally sound if you push too hard on it.
Yeah, I like your bit about like doing stuff like through the city or whatever. Because I mean, obviously, you know, if someone like, yeah, sure, Batman's probably in a place where he could just like start beating the shit out of politicians and whoever else.
Yeah,
but that's like not the point.
Well, that's like a big theme in the Nolan movies in terms of like he wants Harvey Dent to succeed so he doesn't have to fucking be Batman anymore. Yeah, because those movies are way about like him like quitting being Batman.
But I guess like, you know, if you think like, I mean, pick fucking probably almost any city on Earth that's not in one of the like top like a Scandinavian country or whatever the fuck, and even probably those like, oh, we're gonna solve all the problems by like giving the city like $1 billion, like that $1 billion
paying cops more.
Not even cops. You give like it's not even gonna get to fucking anywhere. Part of it might, but not enough. So that's a good point. That's a good point. I was just kind of wondering about it, like,
but honestly, this show doesn't line up with this, but like my high level, like best version of Batman headcanon thing is like Batman shows up and he ends all regular crime. Like he just takes down all the gangsters, and then what's left are people who are crazy.
Yeah.
But because like there's this one page from the comic book Batman Year One, where like, which is like the thing of him crashing the big gangsters meeting, and like he just says like, "Gentlemen, you have eaten well, but your time is over," and like the light goes out, and it's like, yeah, and then he ended crime. So I actually, like, in my head, he's like, all the regular gangsters, their days are fucking numbered. But, like, things like the Joker or whatever are just, like, are then, like, what's left. And that's, like, because he's in a fucking comic book world.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's the thing, right?
Like, I don't love the version where Gotham is perpetually, like, the worst crime city. In terms of, like, just, like, regular crime.
And I think just having the Nolan films be my base, it has me more prone to that thinking, because they get into it more. Like, they're dealing with more of that shit. And it just because it's darker, like, it makes me more prone to be like, why isn't this asshole like trying to do more shit? But like in here, like, you see Batman being a good person, and it makes me more prone to, like, I want this man to succeed in his mission.
Yeah. And, like, he wants to help the villains. Like, if they're willing to take his help, he would help them.
The only time when I was like, your priorities seem to be, I guess there's nothing he could fucking do. The only time when I noticed, like, these people are dead was, like, in the mine. Captures, like, what's the dude's name? Bogus or whatever.
I don't remember.
The giant dude. He, like, pulls him out, but Bogus had done shit or something happened, so, like, the explosive is ignited. I'm like, there was, like, a dozen people in that mine that he had knocked out.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, if I'm seeing a meme about Batman, there's like a 50% chance it's like, oh, Herder, he doesn't kill people, but he'll fucking leave them in a coma on life support for years after breaking every bone in their body, but he doesn't kill. And I don't done it.
I think that's lame.
That hasn't been here.
That has been the edgy, like, pushing on Batman stuff, and, like, it's like in, like, the Arkham games or the Nolan movies or whatever. And, like, I think that's lame.
Yeah. Like, here he's
pushing him like there.
Yeah, and, like, here he's not going hard, and it's. I mean, I don't know how it gets later, but one of the things I liked was that, I kind of mentioned before, he's not a fucking top tier fighter or whatever. Like, he's not fucking throwing a punch and, like, someone's just completely out cold. Like, you know, even with just an average ass henchman, like, he's getting into a bit of a fight, and he's dodging. Is him? Yeah. We're gonna show his prowess by him, like, just not taking a hit. And then, like,
there's a shot in the Mr. Freeze episode where Mr. Freeze is holding him up, and he is just, like, karate chopping Mr. Freeze over and over again, doing nothing.
God, that was so fucking good. It's just literally doing nothing. That was great shit. Oh.
But, like, that's also an episode where, like, a guy sneaks up behind him and he, like, brings his fist up straight up into the guy's face without turning around or whatever. Like, so he gets to be cool and then eat shit. The thing I'll say is, like, once Robin is around, Robin's job is to eat shit.
I mean, as expected. That would be my guess.
That's what Robin is there for.
That's kind of a good segue. One of the other things I noticed, I'll kind of wrap this up into one take. Just, like, the gadgets he uses, and then that got me kind of focused more on the tech stuff, to the point where I'm like, what fucking year is this in? I looked it up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it's like basically the 30s, 50s, and 90s all living in harmony or whatever. And I'm like, that's
and he is, like,
cool.
Future advanced technology.
Yeah. Like, his fucking computer is giant and has, like, analog switches on it, which is fucking cool. Everybody loves a good tactile switch.
It's so cool. The technology in this show is, like, because it's modern for the era, but what it's building on is, like, the crazy scientists from those Fleischer Superman shorts.
Yeah. And but, you know, he has, like, his we got, like, 30s car, or not 30s, I guess, like, 50s cars, you know, on the streets, but then, like, his
all the gangsters have Tommy guns.
Yeah. But his like bat jet thing that Alfred flew to go get him, like that thing's fucking streamlined as hell. That's like future to us.
He's like an AI that pilots his submarine.
Yeah, it's all this self-driving shit. Yeah, it's just so fucking cool in such a good way. And that's, for me, it's especially like retrofuturism stuff doesn't always hit for me. If you're doing like 90s retrofuturism, like, that's fine. I like the look of that shit. But like getting into like 50s, 60s, this it's such a perfect balance. It doesn't get too far into it. And there's enough like 90s and shit blended in there that it makes me very happy. But with his gadgets, I also just like that, like, they're fucking gadgets. And I get maybe this is good, like lack of memory, but in the Nolan films, I feel like we don't get as many gadgets. Or if they do, they're like the super high-tech streamlined, like, I kept expecting him to, I forget if this is a Nolan film or if it's a different thing, but I kept expecting him to jump off. It is a Nolan film. Jump off the building and like glide, because he has the shit in his cape that like stiffens or whatever. But no, he just has that fucking classic old school grappling gun, and it's just cool. Like, it's not super
the grappling.
sleek,
I love his like grappling thing, and it's just got this fucking big red button on it,
dude. And it's the sound it makes is so chunky. I fucking love it. It makes such a chunky noise. It's so good. Yeah,
it's so versatile.
You're just constantly using it, man.
You tie a bomb to the end to shoot up in the air,
and the utility belt. I'm coming in probably a little bit biased, but I've started branching out a tiny bit into some of the subreddits for stuff, and I've seen some of the questions raised, and my answers to two of the common ones are: I think Superman should have trunks, and I think Batman should have the utility belt. Easy. And the gray, I mean, I've always liked the gray costume a little better. Gray blue or maybe gray black, whatever. Yeah, that belt. And then when the kids are using it, when Sherman's like, we need to find something. Get the belt. Then his dumbass doesn't know what a capsule is. Poor Batman's dying on the couch.
It's the poison cures that he keeps in his visor. Your fucking sun visor that the Batmobile definitely needs.
That shit was so good, man. I love the Batmobile. The Batmobile cool. is. I think maybe. I suppose if kids were watching this, the Batmobile might inform their Lego decisions, but this is like a natural gravitation for me. Like the long ass fucking note. Like this is every Lego ship and car I ever built as a child. Just that kind of design. I think I mentioned that once before. Like the Batmobile I have in my head is the long boy, and then I think the Tim Burton one that has like the wings on the back. Yeah, the nipple.
the front nipple is what I think of.
Yes.
I think of that.
Also that.
No, I love this Batmobile.
It has such a good sound.
My favorite Batmobile. It's so silly with how fucking long it is, but it's so fucking cool.
Anytime we get a shot of it driving out of the cave and it takes a corner, I fucking die.
No, it just fucking, when it turns down streets, it just fucking bends. Like it's made of rubber.
Yeah. Dude, it's so good. Just like, fuck it.
It's like, this could only exist in animation because it's so impractical.
It's like the dumbest
but it's
car
fucking
of all
cool.
Time. It's so good. That was the other, that reminded me about there was the other thing I noticed about the jet regarding like the technology stuff. He has this fucking hyper cool, like sleek, like fucking impossible futuristic jet, and it fucking has to land on the tri-wheels like an old plane.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit was so good. I was like, why the fuck? What do you mean there's no room to land? And then he has to fucking actually land. I was like, oh, okay. Was not expecting, but that's dope.
God, Alfred is so fucking funny.
Alfred
like
is
freaking out in that
great.
plane.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And we have wrong Alfred voice for like the first couple episodes, and it bugs me. But then his real voice comes in
Oh,
pretty quick.
I didn't even really notice.
Yeah, his voice is wrong in like the first couple episodes, I think.
How's it wrong?
It's just a different actor. It doesn't sound correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't.
He had it's it's like a less expressive voice, I would say.
Sure.
I don't know. Like I love Alfred and Bruce's dynamic in this show, I will say. Like that's them talking to each other.
Yeah,
it's always good.
Their interactions are great. I mean, like a lot of the interactions are super solid.
Yeah.
Their April Fool's jokes were shit though. It's hot garbage.
Not funny.
Not funny in the slightest. Oh. Yeah,
there's another thing I so the two shots that are like extremely memed. When Batman has the Joker's like hanging in front of over that vat, and Joker's like, "Please, Batman, pull me up." And Batman is like, got his hand on his chin. He's like looking up at the sky, like he's daydreaming about letting the Joker fall to his death. And Joker's like, "Batman," and he pulls him up.
Yeah.
And then, when he gets that, when he gets that kid back to his fucking birthday, back to his dad, the mayor, and he gives him the thumbs up.
The thumbs up. We got a couple of thumbs. He did another thumbs up. We've gotten a couple of them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, Batman giving the thumbs up is good shit.
I really him giving it to what's her name, Officer Montoya, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Montoya, yeah.
Renee Montoya.
That was.
Who's also a character I think created for this show, who then becomes like a bigger character in comics after this.
That's what it says. That's what the wiki says. She's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
yeah. Renee
Bullock
Montoya rules.
Bullock is such a dick.
Oh, Bullock's.
He's in a. I think for that archetype, he's in a pretty good spot for me. Like, yeah, he's a dick, but like at the end, he says like thank you or whatever, begrudgingly. Also, he's always grabbing donuts. That's a classic.
Always grabbing donuts.
He shows up to the birthday party. He's got cake already. Like, I could respect it as a thing that I like to see.
But he's always after Batman.
He's always after Batman. Yeah. Outright lying about saving Batman.
And Commissioner Gordon is ready for him to fucking quit constantly.
I'd bet my badge. Oh, really? Fucking dudes hanging from the ceiling fan or whatever.
Uh-huh. We have this Commissioner Gordon who's just like seen enough shit. He's like, yeah, Batman's fucking helpful.
Yeah. God. It's real fucking good.
It's just done.
Was not expecting. I mean, not expecting, but like I didn't think it'd be this good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it'd be a whole deal.
Yeah, no.
So we did the first 14.
Yeah.
I guess next time we're just doing the entire rest of the series, huh? It wouldn't be a joke if I had more time, but I don't, unfortunately. Or is it to be determined?
I mean, we could just go through 28. That seems like a fine place to stop for next time.
Yeah, sure. 14 a pop. Or if I go like balls deep, who knows? I mean, that was the nice. Like you said, you're prepped for this at any moment.
Yeah. Like I rewatched all of it, but also I've seen the show many fucking times.
Yeah.
And in particular these early episodes, like I rewatched like last year or something, like not that long ago.
Hell yeah.
But I still did it again. I will say this was because this is extremely easy for me to put on and just have on while I'm doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
Like that is just extremely easy. It's actually just like, oh yeah, this is gonna just be on.
This is it's like it's a bit in between. Like it's not fully to Dragon Ball where I'm like, whoops, I started looking at my computer more and like now I've just stared at it for 4 hours straight and the game I was gonna play is just on a dead console next to me. But it is definitely there are more moments that hit. It's not like the whole time I'm like feeling the urge to be on my phone, but like I don't feel bad like peeking at my phone or whatever. But then like the Mr. Freeze episode, I'm like, oh, okay, the episode's over.
Yeah,
like it definitely sucks you in.
God, he puts that guy in a Bacta tank.
Yeah. Fucking.
That's just what you do with people. You put them in the healing tank.
Yeah.
Star Wars and Batman. That's how healing works.
It's a classic.
Also
the
Dragon Ball
tank.
Also Dragon Ball Z.
Also Dragon Ball. Yeah. Man, I also like.
Batman gets a cold. He sneezes.
He's like blowing. He's honking his nose on the handkerchief.
He's just like having a conversation, and he's like, "Achoo!"
That was honestly the most dickish thing Batman did. Was like having a cold and knowingly going to a meeting with someone. Though I guess that guy was an asshole, but still.
The humanitarian of the air.
Yeah. God, what a fucking dick. Come on, that's all just for the press. You know how it is when what did you fucking call them? I forget what
slaves?
The wage slaves. Yeah, when the wage slaves start getting ideas, you know how it has to be.
I feel ill.
Yeah. What a good show. I'm very excited. This is a good decision.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's super hype. I highly recommend everybody watch it.
Yeah, it's just good.
It's a fun time, man. Who would have known?
Who would have thought?
Batman this whole time I could have been enjoying Batman.
Yeah. And it's definitely a thing, like, you think about why people fucking hated that Batman and Robin movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze. 'Cause like they use all the plot setup from this version, but then he's just such a joke character.
Yeah.
It's like feels like that movie feels so much more kiddie than the fucking kids cartoon all the kids were watching. like the big budget like for families version was just like so much more adult, like I don't know, childish than the version the kids were enjoying on their own or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the thing.
Yeah, no, that'd be disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I got much else. Shit's just fucking great.
Yeah, SaltCirclePodcast@gmail.com, SaltCirclePod on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels. He said he is vengeance, he is the night, he is Batman. So, you know, basically got the whole thing.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I'm very excited for more. Very excited.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know that it's going to ever get... An individual episode's ever going to be better than Heart of Ice, but That's kind of like as good as you can get, but stuff like that.